Hi everyone. So I've been having some problems with my garage door opener, and I thought it would be helpful for those who are struggling with the same issue to kind of explain what was going on and tell you how I fixed it, and also show you around an open garage door opener unit so that you can kind of see the different components to it in case you've got something else going on with yours. So basically what was happening was the door was opening 6 inches, a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, or it was closing about a foot or 2 feet or halfway. It was totally random. But then, we'd go like a week or 2 weeks or sometimes more operating completely normally. So I called LiftMaster, Chamberlain, customer support, and I asked them what the problem was, and they said it was the RPM sensor. So I got a new RPM sensor and I changed that out, and still had the same issue. So I called them back, and the guy who answered said, well, no, I don't know why she said that. It was really the logic board that needs to be replaced, and those are pretty expensive. And he said, but look, he goes, since it was a mistake on her part, I'm going to go ahead and, as a courtesy, send you a new logic board. So he asked for all the information about the garage door opener. Come to find, when it arrived, it was the wrong one. It didn't fit the unit. However, the electronics are all the same. So I went ahead and installed it, and I tried making it work, and even though I kind of rigged it in place, the garage door still wasn't operating correctly. So I called Chamberlain the third time, and they said, oh, it's the limit switch, and that's probably gone bad, and we tried to do all these different adjustments and couldn't get it to work. So they said, look, as a courtesy, we'll send you a new limit switch. So they did that, and by the way, mind you, it takes 10 days between each of these calls to get these parts, so now it's been like going on a month. So anyways, I get the limit switch, I install that, and that still doesn't resolve the problem. So I put the old logic board back on, because if it was the limit switch, then the logic board isn't the problem, right? And still had the issue. So I called them up again yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and said, same problem. And they said, okay, well, we're going to send you a new logic board, but one that fits this time. So that's sort of the situation. I haven't yet put it together. Hopefully everything works. But if you're having that kind of an issue, these are the components and parts that we're talking about. So here's the inside of the garage door opener, and I thought I would show you around a little bit. Now let's start here. You've got the motor, as you can see. And then what happens is the motor drives that gear right here, this gear here, which then drives this gear, which turns this gear, which turns this gear, right? So it's a whole series of gears. And by the way, that shaft comes out the top, and then that's where the chain drive is, okay? So basically the RPM sensor is here, and you can see it's just a small little circuit board, and then there's a thing that turns as this shaft turns here, and this thing measures the speed with which it's turning, right? Hence the RPM part of it. And it feeds that information via these wires to the logic board. The other thing that you have here is the limit switch, and there's screws on the sides to adjust, but the way this works is this center shaft here, I don't know if you can see it very well, is driven by this little gear right here. So as the door turns, this gear turns, and then this shuttle here moves up and down between two limit switches. So here's one limit switch here, right? And there's one limit switch here. So these little metal things move around, and I don't know if you can see that too well, but these little metal things move around and contact it. So when you're adjusting this screw, basically what you're doing is you're moving this limit switch either up or down. So the how high the door goes is determined by how far over this is. So the more you move it this way, the more the door is going to go up. The more you move this limit switch down, the more the door is going to go down. So that's basically the quick run through of what's going on in the garage door, and hopefully everything makes sense to you. If you have any questions, you can contact me here.